Welcome to the AXA Engineers podcast, episode 27, and today we're actually bringing you a very special deep dive. We're focusing on insights drawn from some really compelling material about a company that appears to be setting benchmarks. And not just in civil engineering, but, in how an organization can truly integrate its deep-seated values into every single operation. We're talking, of course, about AXA Engineers. We've been given some incredibly insightful material about AXA Engineers' own internal sustainability initiatives, what they actually refer to as their green office vision. So our mission today is to unpack how the commitments described in this material, commitments to environmental responsibility, team well-being, and operational excellence, how these are presented as directly translating into, a high standard of quality and trust for clients, specifically those seeking civil engineering outsourcing solutions. If you're considering external engineering services, maybe civil engineering outsourcing is on your radar. The material we've looked at today offers a really fascinating perspective.
It argues basically that a company's internal culture can be a powerful predictor of its external performance. Before we really dive in, if you're finding value in these insights, please do hit that follow button. And maybe leave us a comment later with your thoughts. We always appreciate hearing from you.
It's an intriguing premise, isn't it? What's really compelling here, I think, is that the blueprint for a company's external success, well, it's often reflected right there in its internal practices. So when we examine how these sources describe AXA Engineers approaching its own workspace, we start to gain, quite profound insights. Insights into the integrity, the innovation, and the efficiency they claim to bring to every single engineering engagement.
Yeah.
And this isn't just about plans and policies like putting up a poster. It's presented as being about a foundational mindset, which naturally raises a really important question for any potential client, doesn't it? What kind of partner do you truly want for your critical infrastructure projects? The sources seem to suggest a distinction between a firm that maybe just delivers on a checklist versus one that's fundamentally driven by this vision of sustainable excellence, something woven right into its operational fabric.
Okay, let's unpack that central idea then. The material we reviewed reveals a powerful belief at AXA Engineers that a green workspace isn't just good for the planet, which is obvious, but it's depicted as a source of real positive energy for every employee. And this isn't presented as just, lip service or a fleeting idea. According to these sources, it's a foundational principle, something that truly permeates their internal environment. So what then does this deep-seated conviction, as they describe it, what does it tell us about AXA Engineers as a potential collaborator, especially in the world of civil engineering outsourcing?
Well, that's a crucial distinction to make. When we think about the broader implications, the sources strongly suggest this speaks volumes about the company's entire ethos. A firm that, as it's described here, believes in truly nurturing its internal environment, its people, their workspace well. That firm is likely to approach external civil engineering engagements with a similar level of care, meticulous care, actually, the same foresight, the same long-term vision. And this isn't just a nice to have. The sources imply this holistic view is absolutely critical in the civil engineering sector. I mean, the impact of design and execution, it extends far beyond just project completion, right? It influences communities, environments for decades to come.
So if the sources paint an accurate picture, it demonstrates a kind of inherent integrity within the company. It suggests a firm that values more than just the immediate bottom line or quick profit. They appear to value the broader impact, the well-being of everyone involved, and the material implicitly links this directly to integrity in their project delivery for civil engineering outsourcing clients. It's about applying values consistently inside and out.
Exactly. And the material also strongly indicates a very forward-thinking approach. This focus on internal sustainability, as they describe it, it points to a real understanding of future trends, an appreciation for environmental responsibility that's becoming, increasingly crucial for modern civil engineering challenges.
Absolutely critical now.
Right. In a world where every project has an ecological footprint, having a partner who, according to these sources, fundamentally grasps this concept and applies it internally first, that signals a capacity for delivering future-proof, environmentally conscious designs externally. They're not just reacting to industry trends, it seems. They're demonstrating a proactive stance.
And we really can't overlook what the sources emphasize about employee well-being, treating it almost like a key metric. The material highlights that this green workspace brings positive energy to every employee. A happy, energized team, as the sources suggest, isn't just, pleasant to be around. It's a productive team, a creative team, a remarkably resilient team, And these are, by any measure, invaluable assets when you're tackling the complex, often demanding tasks you find in large-scale civil engineering outsourcing. When you have a team that feels genuinely cared for, whose environment fosters creativity, as the sources claim AXA Engineers does, well, they're more likely to go that extra mile, aren't they? To innovate, to consistently deliver high-quality work. And that translates directly to what clients are looking for in their engineering partners.
Indeed. And think about resilience, for instance. That's a huge one in civil engineering outsourcing.
Oh, definitely.
In any major infrastructure project, unforeseen challenges are almost a given. You expect them. Maybe it's unexpected ground conditions, maybe supply chain disruptions, sudden regulatory changes. A team that feels genuinely cared for, as these sources suggest AXA's employees do through these initiatives, often demonstrates a far greater capacity to navigate those setbacks.
Yeah, it'll just crumble.
Exactly. They're more likely to approach problems with a solutions-oriented mindset, rather than becoming demotivated or fragmented. And then there's creativity. The sources emphasize the efficient atmosphere fostered by things like individual desk plants and the outdoor garden. This isn't just about aesthetics, right? It's about creating a mental space where engineers can approach complex design problems with fresh perspectives. Perhaps identifying innovative material applications or more efficient structural solutions, maybe more sustainable construction methods. Things that a stressed or disengaged team might simply overlook.
That makes sense.
So these internally cultivated attributes, as described in the material, they become direct drivers of external project success for their civil engineering outsourcing clients.
Now, as we delve deeper into the specifics here, something that really caught my attention in the source material was the emphasis on how this whole journey at AXA Engineers. It explicitly began with small changes. But with collective effort, they believed they could create a really significant impact. It's presented not as grand, sweeping, one-off gestures, but more about consistent, unified, everyday action, which immediately makes you wonder, can we see this precise, detail-oriented approach mirrored in how they tackle their civil engineering outsourcing work for clients?
That's a crucial point, I think. The sources depict a fundamental culture of incremental improvement and shared responsibility, something deeply embedded within the organization. In civil engineering projects, which are often just massive, intricate undertakings, success is ultimately built from countless small, precise actions and decisions.
Absolutely. The details matter immensely.
They do. And the material's description of AXA Engineers' demonstrated ability to galvanize its entire team for practical actions that yield significant impact. Well, that suggests an incredibly organized, disciplined, and highly collaborative approach to project management. The implication seems clear. They understand that excellence is the sum of many, many well-executed details, not just the broad strokes or the initial concept. And that mindset is absolutely vital for any partner tackling complex civil engineering outsourcing challenges.
It's a powerful observation. The source specifically mentions, and I found this interesting, that members at head office have actively participated in AXA Green Office with practical actions. So this isn't painted as some top-down mandate where employees are just, told what to do. It's described as genuine, active engagement from everyone. You can almost picture it, can't you? Every engineer, every technician, every team member contributing to these small, practical actions that collectively transform their own environment. It speaks more to bottom-up empowerment than just following a policy.
Precisely. And if we extrapolate that dedication to their civil engineering outsourcing projects, imagine that same collective, detail-oriented effort applied to something complex, like, say, a building information modeling or BIM coordination meeting for a new high-rise building.
Okay.
Every calculation, every material specification, every clash detection, every structural component, each small part receives that same meticulous attention and collaborative contribution from the team, just as described in their internal initiatives. It suggests that every engineer, every technician, every single member of the AXA Engineers team is contributing their absolute best to the overall integrity, the safety, and the ultimate success of a client's project. This commitment to collective effort at such a granular level, it's really a hallmark of truly reliable and high-performing civil engineering outsourcing services. It just naturally fosters fewer errors and a higher quality of deliverables.
Okay, so moving into the actual transformation. Our sources give us a surprisingly candid look, almost transparent, at their office before this all started. They weren't shying away from admitting areas that needed improvement. We hear about plants showing signs of withering due to maybe insufficient light or irregular watering.
Yes, simple things but telling.
Right. Unoptimized ventilation making the air feel stuffy. Energy consumption needing stricter management. And this one's striking. Millions of single-use plastic containers being discarded daily. This level of transparency, this honest self-assessment, it's quite refreshing, isn't it? It's not a narrative of instant perfection, but one of genuine growth and continuous improvement.
And this raises an important question, I think. How does a company actually identify its weaknesses and then truly commit, to addressing them thoroughly? AXA Engineers' willingness, as it's presented in these sources, to openly acknowledge challenges like plants showing signs of withering, or ventilation not yet optimized, or energy consumption needs stricter management. It demonstrates a profound culture of critical self-assessment and a proactive rather than just reactive problem-solving mindset. This is an absolutely vital trait you want in any civil engineering outsourcing partner.
Definitely.
Because it indicates their ability to identify potential issues early in a project's life cycle, ideally before they escalate into major problems, and then to devise effective, robust, and often quite innovative solutions. It's about recognizing the before picture clearly, so you can build a much stronger after. It's like applying engineering diagnostic principles to their own operations.
That proactive stance is so critical. It highlights their ability not just to see and acknowledge inefficiencies, whether it's in their own office or within a complex engineering design for a client, but to take decisive action. It's not just about identifying the problem, is it? It's about the commitment to improvement. The sources describe them committing to reimagining and transforming their workspace. That implies a very robust, well-defined process for continuous improvement.
Yes.
This is exactly the kind of diligence you absolutely want from a civil engineering outsourcing partner. It mirrors methodologies like PDCA cycle's Plan, Do, Check Act that are so central to quality management in engineering.
Exactly right. They're effectively applying engineering principles to their own environment. You can clearly see the stages described in the material. First, identification of a problem, then a detailed analysis of its causes, and then strategic intervention with planned solutions. It's a very structured approach.
An approach you'd expect them to replicate in their client work.
Precisely. That's the key takeaway.
So, okay, they've laid out the philosophy, they've identified the baseline. The sources then detail the concrete actions AXA Engineers actually took. They didn't just, lament the problems. They got together as a united team. That phrase comes up again to discuss and come up with practical ideas. This collaborative problem-solving element seems crucial. Let's look at some specifics, because these aren't just minor office improvements. They feel like indicators of meticulous planning and execution, things that really resonate with what you'd expect from a leader in civil engineering outsourcing.
And what's fascinating here, again, is the methodical approach the sources describe. They didn't just randomly throw solutions at the wall hoping something might stick. They collaboratively discussed and came up with practical ideas to turn our workplace into a green, clean, and sustainable space. That process, it directly mirrors the iterative, highly collaborative design process that's absolutely essential for any large-scale civil engineering project.
Good point.
Their internal actions, as described, they really speak to a deep understanding of not just what needs to be done, but how to achieve maximum impact through structured, team-based effort. This disciplined approach is a significant indicator of their capabilities in delivering high-quality civil engineering outsourcing solutions.
Okay, first up, energy saving. The sources tell us AXA Engineers implemented a very clear policy. Simple things, but effective. Turning off computers, lights, electrical devices when not in use. They also adjusted AC temperatures to reasonable levels. And the material quotes a really compelling statistic alongside this. Reducing electricity consumption by just 10% can cut millions of tons of CO2 emissions annually. So this isn't just about saving a few dollars on the power bill. It's presented as a reflection of a global perspective, a real commitment to environmental stewardship on a much broader scale.
Yeah, and this is a direct, very tangible application of efficiency and responsible resource management as described in the sources. Now, in the context of civil engineering outsourcing projects, this translates directly to designs that inherently prioritize energy efficiency.
How so? Can you give an example?
Sure. Their internal discipline could manifest, say, in engineers meticulously optimizing building energy models, BEM for the HVAC systems, in a new commercial development, pushing for a better energy performance index than just the standard requirement.
Okay, I see.
Or maybe in water management, it might mean rigorously optimizing pump station energy consumption through advanced hydraulic analysis, leading to significant long-term operational cost savings for the client. The energy-saving policy they mention isn't just a rule they follow internally. It's presented as a demonstration of AXA Engineers' commitment to practical, impactful strategies that address sustainability right at the core. It shows they not only understand the technical aspects of energy consumption, but also the broader environmental and economic implications. And that is paramount in sustainable civil engineering today.
And it's not just about the policy itself, is it? But the daily practice. The source talks about fingers gently turn off the light switch when leaving the room, and electronic devices are completely turned off after work. These might seem like small individual acts, but the description evokes a kind of rhythmic, conscious effort. It implies a deep-seated discipline and a collective sense of responsibility. It really speaks volumes about the level of ingrained commitment present within AXA Engineers.
Absolutely, that consistency is key.
This kind of consistent vigilance is critical for precision in civil engineering outsourcing.
Couldn't agree more. It's the institutionalization of a sustainable habit. Now let's talk about waste reduction as the sources depict it. The material notes that millions of single-use plastic containers were being discarded daily. That's a huge number.
Staggering, really.
It is. So AXA Engineers actively encourage everyone to bring their own meal containers and use reusable items instead of disposables. Basic stuff, but effective when done collectively. They even repurposed used paper, this is quite clever, to create small functional trash bins, which serves as a daily visible reminder of reuse. And crucially, they state they prioritize waste reduction from the start over just waste segregation later on. This feels like a truly proactive, forward-thinking stance on sustainability. It goes beyond mere recycling, aiming more for a circular economy mindset.
Right. If we connect that to the bigger picture of civil engineering outsourcing, it speaks to an integrated, almost upstream approach to resource management, doesn't it? Prioritizing waste reduction from the start, that's a fundamental principle of sustainable design, and it's directly applicable to major civil engineering projects. Well, it's about minimizing material waste right at the design phase, maybe through really precise quantity takeoffs, specifying materials chosen for durability and longevity, meticulously considering the entire life cycle impact of materials not just for a lunch container, but for critical components like concrete, steel, aggregates in a major infrastructure project like a bridge or a highway.
That makes perfect sense.
This kind of foresight in planning and execution is invaluable when you're choosing a civil engineering outsourcing partner. You want someone who can deliver both innovation and environmental responsibility. It points to a deep understanding of things like life cycle assessments and resource optimization.
Indeed. And those repurposed paper bins, though maybe a small detail, they're a clever, tangible example of their ingenuity and commitment to practical daily solutions. It's a subtle but, I think, powerful metaphor for a company culture that is constantly looking for ways to be more efficient and sustainable. And that trait directly translates to more resourceful and less wasteful engineering designs for their clients, which could lead to significant cost savings and a reduced environmental impact.
Good point. And of course, we have to talk about the green in Green Office. The sources describe that every employee now has a small desk plant. Simple idea, but it's there to purify the air, create a more relaxing, efficient atmosphere. And this initiative apparently expanded to include an actual outdoor garden, with the team actively cleaning and decorating it together. It's about bringing nature right into the workspace, fostering a sense of environmental responsibility that starts at an individual level and, as the material suggests, expands outwards.
What's fascinating here is the deep understanding, as it's presented in the sources, that the physical environment profoundly impacts productivity, creativity, and just overall well-being. For AXA Engineers, according to this material, this isn't just an aesthetic choice. It's portrayed as a strategic one.
Right, function-driving form in a way.
Exactly. This meticulous attention to detail from individual desk plants may be improving air quality slightly to creating an Office One atmosphere described as full of energy and creativity. It suggests an innate ability to design for the human experience. And that is such a crucial element in civil engineering. Whether you're designing public parks, commercial developments, perhaps incorporating biophilic design elements, or even optimizing the internal flow of a transportation hub for user comfort and ease, it shows they consider the end user, the long-term human impact of their designs. And that's a key differentiator when you're evaluating civil engineering outsourcing partners.
The description in the sources of the office is, dons a new look, fresh and harmonious with greenery thoughtfully arranged. It really paints a vivid picture, doesn't it? A deliberate, aesthetic transformation that directly benefits everyone working there. It's not just about the plants themselves. It's about creating a living, breathing space that promotes optimal performance and ultimately maybe a better quality of life for their team. And that principle can then extend to the communities their external projects serve.
It's truly a testament, it seems, to a comprehensive design philosophy, one that integrates well-being and the environment seamlessly.
So this green office project, it wasn't just about changing the physical space. The sources strongly suggest it was also about changing the culture. The material highlights our team's unity as we collaborate to clean, plan, and decorate. It was depicted as an opportunity to connect, converse, and understand each other better. This doesn't sound like just surface-level team-building exercises. It's described as building a genuinely cohesive unit. How, then, does this kind of internal unity at AXA Engineers, as it's portrayed, directly benefit their clients in complex civil engineering outsourcing projects?
Well, this raises an important question, doesn't it? What's the true, often unseen cost of having a fragmented or disunited team working on a large, complex engineering project?
Yeah, the hidden costs can be huge.
Exactly. And the sources here clearly demonstrate, or claim to demonstrate, that a united team, one built on genuine collaboration and mutual understanding, is an absolute powerhouse. Complex civil engineering projects demand seamless communication. They need a shared vision among all stakeholders. Highly effective problem solving across various disciplines, structural, geotechnical, environmental, you name it.
They're all interconnected.
Completely. So this internal dynamic described where creative ideas flourish and most effective discussions frequently take place in their green meeting rooms, as the sources claim, that translates directly. It means more integrated designs, significantly fewer coordination errors, and ultimately superior outcomes for their civil engineering outsourcing clients. It speaks to a very robust internal project management and communication style.
So fundamentally, we're talking about enhanced communication because there's less internal friction, which naturally leads to clearer lines of communication, much better project coordination overall, and that's absolutely critical for avoiding costly delays, misunderstandings, and rework in any major engineering undertaking.
Precisely. And beyond just smoother communication, you get this powerful problem-solving synergy. When diverse perspectives come together collaboratively to, say, exchange ideas about decoration plans in their own office, that same collaborative energy, that synergy, is then presumably applied to tackle intricate engineering challenges for clients.
Makes sense. Different angles on a problem.
Right. Different viewpoints, when they're harmonized by strong team unity, they lead to more innovative and comprehensive solutions. Solutions that might otherwise be missed by a less cohesive group. And this also builds project resilience. A cohesive team, as the sources depict AXA Engineers' team, handles unexpected challenges much better. They adapt quicker to changes in scope or unforeseen obstacles. They maintain morale through even the most demanding civil engineering outsourcing projects.
That collective strength, that resilience, it's a huge advantage for any client, isn't it? Especially since projects invariably encounter complexities along the way.
It's a massive advantage.
The sources also specifically mention the green space in the meeting room, where creative ideas flourish and effective discussions frequently take place. Again, this isn't presented as just decorating. It's framed as a conscious design choice for optimal performance. Even the company logo is artistically placed amidst the green, symbolizing harmony between nature and the brand. What does this intentional design of their internal spaces, as described, tell us about AXA Engineers' approach to their actual civil engineering outsourcing work?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think it profoundly underscores AXA Engineers' belief, as portrayed in the sources, in the direct impact of the environment on output, on performance. They are meticulously designing their own workspaces to actively foster creativity, enhance collaboration, and maximize efficiency.
They're applying design thinking internally.
Exactly. This deeply analytical and thoughtful approach to their own internal infrastructure strongly suggests they apply the exact same rigor, the same intentionality, to their clients' projects in civil engineering outsourcing. They clearly understand that a well-designed environment, whether it's an inspiring office space or a resilient, well-planned civil structure, isn't just functional. It has the power to inspire. to enhance the user experience, and to beautifully reflect the underlying values and vision of its creators.
It's a nuanced point.
It is, but it's an incredibly important distinction for an engineering partner. They're not just building, they're designing an experience, considering the human element.
It also sort of humanizes their approach, doesn't it? The source mentions the meeting room also serves as a wonderful backdrop for commemorative photos, capturing moments of unity and happiness. That detail reinforces a positive, vibrant, and people-centric culture, one that understands the value of shared experiences and a supportive atmosphere. It's about building a sense of belonging, which is often a powerful motivator for high performance.
Indeed. It really speaks to designing for life, not just for pure function. They seem to understand that the best work often emerges from a motivated, connected, and happy team.
And then there's the stuff beyond the typical workday. The sources paint this vivid picture of the team returning to the office's small garden, taking turns caring for each green corner. These activities apparently become an indispensable part, like familiar daily tasks. It's integrated.
Yeah, part of the routine.
Right. And then, for pure fun, the source says, when everyone is relaxed, we turn on the music and dance to lively TikTok routines together. Laughter echoes, continuously turning the office into a playground. I mean, that paints a picture of a truly unique, joyful, and deeply connected workplace culture at AXA Engineers, at least as described in this material.
What's fascinating there is the deliberate cultivation of shared responsibility and genuine camaraderie that clearly extends beyond formal tasks as depicted in these sources. This isn't just about work. It sounds like they're building a true community within the company. That daily routine of caring for the garden, it fosters a profound sense of ownership and long-term commitment, not just to the plants maybe, but to the collective environment and to each other. And those post-work activities where laughter echoes, they demonstrate a healthy, balanced, and incredibly positive work environment.
And how does that translate to civil engineering outsourcing?
Well, it translates directly by fostering a team that is not only highly competent and technically skilled, but also deeply invested, adaptable, and genuinely enjoys the process of working together. These are qualities that significantly enhance project success, lead to more innovative solutions born from that positive environment, and ultimately boost client satisfaction. It really is about a team that wants to be there and wants to do great work together.
I can't help but speculate a bit here. A team that can laugh and dance together like that, as the sources suggest they do. Surely that's a team that can navigate complex project challenges with grace, with good humor, with an unwavering spirit of collaboration.
It seems highly likely.
That kind of internal cohesion must foster stronger, more transparent relationships with clients during complex civil engineering outsourcing projects, building trust that goes far beyond just the technical deliverables, because you're dealing with a truly unified and positive human element on the other side.
Absolutely. I think when a team genuinely enjoys working together and interacting positively with their environment, that energy is palpable, it's infectious, and it directly impacts the quality and the spirit of their client interactions and their project delivery. It's an often underestimated factor in the success of long-term engineering partnerships.
Okay, so let's talk results. The sources say the results of the Green Office campaign shine brightly and vibrantly, showcasing the collective effort and enthusiasm. The office is described as fresh and harmonious with greenery thoughtfully arranged. But, importantly, they add that this beauty is only part of the story.
Right, there's substance behind the style.
Exactly. It's also about the energy-saving actions consciously and regularly happening. This isn't presented as just a one-off campaign for AXA Engineers. It's depicted as a genuine way of life, something they fully intend to sustain and expand.
Now, if we connect that to the bigger picture for civil engineering outsourcing services, what we see here is powerful proof point, according to these sources. Proof of AXA Engineers' ability to meticulously execute a vision, measure its impact effectively, and truly commit to long-term goals.
So, follow-through.
Yes, crucial follow-through. The fresh and harmonious environment is the visible, maybe aesthetic outcome of their meticulous planning and sustained effort, but perhaps more importantly, the consciously and regularly performed energy-saving actions. They demonstrate a profound level of discipline and successful integration into their daily operations. This level of dedication to internal initiatives provides powerful, tangible evidence. Evidence of the quality and reliability clients can likely expect in their civil engineering outsourcing projects, where long-term performance, sustainability, and strict adherence to best practices are absolutely paramount.
It really reinforces that idea described in the sources that everything is like a rhythmic music, where people not only share green space, but also spread the awareness of energy-saving culture. This continuous integrated effort isn't just a policy document gathering dust somewhere. It's portrayed as a living, breathing part of their organizational rhythm. That kind of consistency, when applied to technical project management and delivery in civil engineering outsourcing, is precisely what you look for in a dependable engineering partner.
Exactly right. It suggests an ingrained, almost unconscious commitment to excellence and responsibility, something deeply embedded in their corporate DNA, according to this material we've reviewed.
And finally, the sources indicate that AXA Engineers states that the green office spirit does not stop here within their own walls. They say they will try to spread this green and economical message to everyone around. Now, that implies a mission that extends far beyond their own company. How does this outward-looking, almost evangelistic approach to sustainability, as depicted here, manifest in their actual civil engineering outsourcing services for clients?
Well, what's fascinating there is the declared intention to spread this green and economical message. It's not presented as just a corporate policy for internal consumption. It's clearly framed as part of their core identity and mission. So when you engage a firm like AXA Engineers for civil engineering outsourcing projects, the sources strongly suggest you're partnering with a firm that inherently prioritizes sustainable design, resource efficiency, and long-term environmental stewardship in every single project they touch.
So it's baked in.
It seems baked in. They bring not just their technical engineering prowess, but a foundational philosophy that adds significant, often transformative value, actively guiding clients toward more responsible, innovative, and genuinely future-proof solutions. This deep commitment to positive impact and innovation, as described in the material, is an invaluable asset in our rapidly changing world, where environmental consciousness is simply no longer optional, it's essential.
So, this outward-looking philosophy suggests they actively seek to implement these sustainable practices and innovative solutions in the projects they undertake for others. This positions them not just as service providers, but potentially as true leaders in responsible civil engineering outsourcing, always looking for ways to elevate standards and create lasting positive change, maybe even inspiring their own clients to greater heights of sustainability along the way.
Precisely. The sources paint a picture of a company not just reacting to industry demands for sustainability, but proactively shaping the future of sustainable civil engineering, and doing it through its internal culture, its values, and its external aspirations.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, our listeners? Whether you're a developer, maybe a municipal planner, or really anyone considering engaging external engineering services, particularly civil engineering outsourcing for critical infrastructure. We've seen today that AXA Engineers, according to the compelling material we've reviewed, doesn't just build structures. They cultivate environments. They foster unity. They embed sustainability deep into their very DNA. Their Green Office initiative is presented as far more than just a beautification project. It's shown as a living testament to their core values and their operational excellence. And it offers a unique lens through which to view their capabilities for civil engineering outsourcing.
And this raises, I think, a really important question for anyone evaluating their options right now. In an era where innovation, sustainability, and absolute reliability are non-negotiable requirements for critical infrastructure, can you really afford to partner with a civil engineering outsourcing firm that doesn't demonstrate this profound commitment internally, in their own daily operations? As the sources suggest, AXA Engineers demonstrably does. The material we've explored today indicates that AXA Engineers doesn't just aim to meet expectations, they seem driven to elevate them, showing a path forward where every project isn't just completed, but is conscientiously crafted for a better, more sustainable future.
So, when you choose a firm like AXA Engineers for your civil engineering needs, the material strongly suggests you're not just outsourcing a project task list, you're investing in a genuine partnership. A partnership with a team that apparently lives and breathes the values of efficiency, sustainability, and human-centered design. They've seemingly proven their capacity to transform and inspire within their own walls. Just imagine what they can build for you. If you're ready for civil engineering outsourcing that transcends mere delivery, that actively builds a more sustainable, efficient, and inspiring future, then the question perhaps isn't if you need a partner with this kind of internal philosophy and proven commitment, but rather, what bold future will you build, and what dedicated visionary team will you choose to build it with? To learn more about how AXA Engineers can bring their award-winning approach, as suggested by their internal focus, to your next civil engineering project, do reach out to them today. And please, don't forget to follow our deep dive for more insights like these. And leave us a comment. Let us know what stood out to you in today's discussion about AXA Engineers and their approach to civil engineering outsourcing.